Happy Thursday, everyone. It's Foul Territory. FoulTerritoryShop.com, by the way, if you're looking for shirts. Also, other places to get cool shirts. But right off the jump here, we are joined by our buddy on the FT roster, Trevor May, with a dope background, by the way. But Trevor,
Is that Sacramento? Is that
That's
Sacramento?
such a troll background.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh, he's muted. Nope.
You're
it's not
muted.
Oh,
Sacramento.
I'm muted.
Oh,
Now
no,
you're
you're
not.
back. You're back. Here he is.
Oh, we're back. All right. I don't know what's going on. That's happened a couple times, but yeah, I'm coming from the first base camera well in Sacramento. Here already. Surprise.
I mean, really? The River Cats are going to give it up for the A's?
Didn't Sacramento almost lose their NBA team?
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah,
Really?
that was.
Do you know the history there, Trevor? So they almost lost their team, right?
I mean, it was discussed. Yeah, it was. I don't know how close it got, but yeah, they were discussing Sacramento just not having any teams for anything. But now they're going to have a professional baseball team too in that stadium. Enjoy, guys.
Years.
By the way,
stadium.
so by the way, I don't know if it's changed, but when I was there, I played there over 20 years ago. There was a building in the outfield that like had a gold windows, and you couldn't see shit in that place.
Gold windows. What would be the? Why would you do that? That building's
Well,
still there.
because it was an office
Just so you know.
building. It was like across the street. I think it was in
Okay.
right field or left field, but it was like the sun would set and it would hit those gold windows, and you're hitting and you're going, I can't see anything for like 3
Great place
innings.
to pitch.
Yeah.
You need some help in
So-
California sometimes. So
Jeez. So 7 o'clock game,
Yeah.
first hour. Can't see that
Couldn't
well.
see nothing. Nothing. It
Mm.
was awful.
They usually play games at 7.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right,
I mean,
so
you
that
can see the
plays out.
sun setting if he's in the first base camera well, right? Like,
Yes.
look at where the sun is setting. So in
It's right
right
behind.
field, there was like I don't know if it's still there. Again, I don't know if it's still there, but it was awful.
Well, I know one thing. If it's there, John Fisher's not going to pay for something to block it. You're going to have to live with it for 3-4 years and an hour. So, Trevor, obviously, thanks for joining us right off the top here.
Yes.
When you see this news, what's the first thing that comes to mind as someone that was just on this team last year? And obviously, you know most of the guys that are currently on the team that will be hopping around to Sacramento starting next year.
honestly, to be entirely honest, if I were on the team right now, I'd just be happy to know what the hell is going on now. Like I can make a decision. I could know kind of, unpredictability, the uncertainty of playing baseball just is one of the worst parts sometimes. And so at least some of the young guys are like, hey, it's only an hour and 20 away north. So it's not a huge difference. You're in the same state. Hopefully there's probably some guys that'll commute a little bit or maybe have a house. I mean, nobody has a house, honestly, on the team, but
Yeah.
it's at least it's not a crazy change. And a lot of those guys have been in AAA recently or up and down. So they're like, I've spent a lot of time there too. So it's not like an alien place that like no one's ever been or played baseball. So, and honestly, the pitchers get to avoid like having to go to Salt Lake or something. We don't need a second Colorado. So I at least from a baseball standpoint, you can have an idea what's going on. So maybe it's a little bit positive in that way, but outside of that, like, you were in the big leagues, you're all pumped, and now you're like, well, am I in the big leagues anymore? We'll see.
I don't know anything about this stadium, so I'm more asking from a visiting standpoint. Like, it's not, to me, I think Sacramento, from what I hear, decent little place to live. You don't have to worry about the traffic like San Fran. But what about visiting players? Does this place need an overhaul like Buffalo needed to get up to major league standards?
Oh yeah. That's my biggest question. There's like a separate building out in left center where the locker rooms are, and there's no way. There's just simply no way currently as it is now. Buffalo was way better than this is in terms of space anyways. I mean, it may be a little bit older, Buffalo was, but like there was enough space to do these things, and there's just no space. I actually went there last year for an outing, and I was like, yeah, like this isn't ideal. I was right in the middle of everybody. I couldn't like, you can't. It's one of those places where you can't get dressed next to a guy.
Mm-hmm.
So like one of you has to leave. and then the other person's got to get dressed, and then you trade because there's just not enough. There's like not enough room for even the chairs to be in there. So guys are like putting their chairs off into the corner when they just they don't need to sit there. And it was not ideal. No, not ideal. Not a lot of space for activities.
Trevor, luckily they're all a bunch of young guys mostly.
Yeah.
Right? If you're a veteran, like, man, Sacramento, like Oakland or Sacramento, or a locker where I can't get dressed. Like Kratz always talks about the Reading Fighting Phils, where you had to stack your shoes on top of each other because the locker wasn't wide enough for you to actually put your shoes flat on the ground. I mean, is this kind of situation? Or, I mean, they're going to – how much money do you think they're going to have to spend in order to make this happen? Because it's crazy.
In terms of that, like how much money it'll cost, I don't know, but I think we're all pretty confident that it's going to be whatever the bare minimum is to check the boxes that are in the CBA, probably, because it's going to need some.
Are we talking trailers? Hey, are they bringing in trailers? Like, are they going to bring in like trailer?
Portables, like you did in elementary school. I was in a
portable or like
in
the minor leagues. Some places had trailers, right? Like literally track trailers for clubhouses.
Yep.
Like they had those in Bowie once. They had that New Britain for a minute.
Hey, don't talk bad about New Britain.
Oh, I'm a Rock Pat for life, man. Even when they burned the batting cage down and then they didn't rebuild it, I still was a ride or die. They got to. That's kind of the best solution for these things. I mean, you know how it works. Like getting like construction done and like in the winter, like it's just not something that happens quickly or usually. So they're going to have to expand somehow. It might be like a double locker room situation. They might put the pitchers on one side. We might have a COVID situation where they split everybody up. They've done it. It's happened. They have to do that. They have to do it. But that would be not ideal, especially if you're there for 4 days. Like you're like, oh my God, get me out of here. And unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of that. But in terms of playing surface, though, I will say it was a nice playing surface. I did think the field was well maintained and well put together. So there's that.
So since we can't get Steven vote, we have to ask the second favorite A's from the fan base. Are the fans going to come out to games in Sacramento?
Oh,
because it's like a novelty. Like it's a novelty, and they're great fans.
They are phenomenal fans, and now it's an hour away. You're gonna get Sacramento fans. Now, I don't know how the team there now draws. It wasn't crazy when I was there, but it also was kind of early and kind of cold, so I couldn't really get a gauge on it. It wasn't like empty, but yeah, I think the diehards will go because it's still close enough. Like you're close enough to the Bay, which is a positive. But I think the entire situation just like it's such a slap in the face for it to be an hour away. Like you're going to move and you're going to be that close to where I could still go, but it's still just like harder. Like, I don't know if it might just be a little bit too much. So we'll see. I know there's a lot of people who are not going, but are being very loud about it because that's really the only tool they have in their toolbox to make it heard that they're not very happy. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. But like, I think this is just the first domino to fall. Like now it's real now. It's real now. And I'm feeling for the people in Oakland.
Do we know what's going to happen to the actual AAA team? Are they trying to do like a alternating schedule, or are they completely out of the stadium for this time?
That I have no idea. So that's really interesting. I actually did a search real quick, and it's kind of muddy in the details, like this whole situation has been the whole time. But like what happens? It's weird too because it's the Giants AAA team. So right. Like, are they getting displaced? Are they like, hey, you guys figure it out? We got a big league team in town now. I don't know how that works. I don't even know what power the owner of the GM of the stadium there has to do things like that, and just like to get. I don't know how the deal works or the contract they have. So I would assume there's probably a little bit of that. It would really, really suck for the AAA team to have to like do a majority road trip schedule now because there's another team kind of butting in on their situation. And it's hard enough, right? In the PCL, imagine having to fly constantly and just be on the road for the most of the season. That sounds like maybe the worst thing ever.
Scott, Trevor, Eric doesn't understand that because he was only in the other league, the PCL. I was a PCL guy, right? I was in Salt Lake with the Twins. I get it. The American Association or whatever they call that, less of a league over there on the other side of the coast. I was a PCL guy, so Eric doesn't understand that. how much travel is involved. We were going from Vancouver to New Orleans, playing a game, right? So listen, just ignore Eric. Okay, my question is they drew 5,100 2 nights ago in Oakland, and they drew 6,400. Now listen, 6,400, 5,999 were Red Sox fans. Are they going to outdraw them in Sacramento? Do you think they can beat 6,000 a night in Sacramento?
It's going to be interesting because, like I said, it's real now. There's going to be a group of fans that are just like, I'm done. And then there's going to be a group of fans like, all right, now we have a new team. And to see how that balances out is going to be interesting. But I don't think they're going to get more than that, at least at the beginning. By no fault of anybody wearing a uniform anywhere. It's going to come down to like Sacramento's close enough to where they're aware of John Fisher and the things he's doing and the reasons that the team's there. And I doubt that's going to really jazz anybody up in that area to like go have a new team they like. I don't think that's something they're like. Finally, we got what we wanted. I don't see that happening.
Trevor, I remember you told me how the team gifted everyone free boots from Gap.
Best boots I ever owned. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they are going to be worth something one day, at least for the Hall of Fame, because of this whole storyline. What do you think is going to happen today when the players enter the ballpark?
That's a good one. I didn't think about that. Ooh, what kind of present we're gonna get? I didn't go look at the cap table, guys. I didn't look at the net worth and what other companies he owns. So I don't know what other consumer product that he can go grab from warehouse and give to people.
Cologne?
Let's
Gap
go with
cologne?
hats. I make cologne, or maybe it's just a bunch of like San Jose Earthquakes gear. That'd be pretty cool.
True. I'm not selling enough, so let me bring that in for anyone that doesn't know. He owns them. He's doing a great job there. Sarcasm. So I have a couple other questions. One is with the players and the players union. Do you think going forward they need to put something stricter in the CBA that essentially says we're not playing in minor league parks if you have your battle with cities over tax dollars anymore? Because this could happen again, and what's going to happen. It sucks for the players. The side note is on Fair Territory earlier, Ken Rosenthal was talking about it. The team's promising they're going to get the payroll up to like mid 100s or whatever the number is. Good luck signing guys right now over the next few years to get to that number. That's what they'll say. Oh, we couldn't get to the number we promised because guys won't sign here. So do you think something needs to change from the other half of the gate holders of the game?
Yeah, absolutely. I there are some things in there in this, but again, like that was like pre-precedent. This hadn't happened in this way yet. And that's how these things it has to happen first and then you adjust. That is a big thing with the PA. They're always trying to avoid setting precedents, like giving the commissioner powers that he can then use later for some other situation, using that as a precedent. So you want to avoid that. And you don't want this to set a precedent like, oh, we can just do this whenever a team wants to move. We have a strategy that works fine, and the players just accepted it. So yeah, there needs a lot of noise made. It needs to be addressed. This needs to go on the list because we're halfway through CBA already, almost. So it's like getting they're starting to figure out what they're going to yell about next time, and this should probably be on there. It probably won't be on the top. There's a lot of other things that are going to be discussed, i.e. free agency, but like. This is in there. We got to make sure that the guys are being taken care of, at least from are we putting them in the best position to be the best version of themselves, so that baseball's still the point. Like baseball still needs to be the point, and I think we're losing that thread more and more often these days, where it's just kind of an afterthought, like the guys actually having to play the game. It could be maybe factored into decision making just like a little bit more. So I think definitely something that should be addressed.
That makes sense, since, without the game, we wouldn't have any of this. So True. It would be nice to honor the game, since that's what started all of this. It makes too much sense. But I want to finish with this. Your thoughts on Oakland and their fan base. Now they lose another team. This doesn't seem like it had to go this way. I did enough research over the years now at this point on Howard Terminal and other ownership options and what this group had in mind for years. You got to spend some time inside of it. What is your kind of like final big picture thought on baseball ditching the city of Oakland? which is a large, diverse city, and thinking that tons of fans there and young ball players that like playing baseball are suddenly just going to say, screw it, I'm a Giants fan, or it's okay. I just think you're losing a massive, massive amount of fans in a sport that isn't existing in the 80s anymore, right? Like there's so much competition. I don't think we can afford to take PR hits like this and think like, oh, it's fine. Baseball will still be at the top. It's not at the top. It's not the biggest sport in America.
Yeah, it's not going to help. Losing fans is one thing, but like treating them this way it sends a message to like all fans that when push comes to shove, the decision being made is not going to be probably, if it's not in your best interest, that doesn't really matter. And it's going to be in my best interest as the person who owns everything. That is not great. I understand the big games of business. Everyone knows. We've heard that 1,000 times. It's the ace in hole that everyone just throws in your face every time anything shady happens or someone gets screwed. But at some point, it's entertainment. It's boiled down to its simplest form. I've always said this. I'm out there and I'm just trying to like make people feel stuff. That's literally all it is. Whether it's mad at me or excited of what happened or whatever, both of those things are adding value. It's making it fun to watch. It's tense. That's the point. And that has to continue to be the point. You got to be giving. The goal should always be give the customer something that they'll enjoy. And if you're saying we're going to just take things away from you because financially it makes more sense for me, then like what all fans feel like their team's on the table. It could be if circumstances are correct. So it is not helpful for the game to do these things, especially the way it's being done, as disorganized and frankly just embarrassing at times. The fact that they even got to an actual deal is fairly surprising at this point. I thought it was just going to be something that's been bantered around all the time for the next 3 years. They just keep places, which is obviously still on the table, could happen. But yeah, I wish that fans were factored in a little bit more. I wish they were just talked to. Maybe someone looked them in the eyes and said, "Hey, I get it. I'm really sorry, and I wish there was a better way, but this is this way it is." And it was owned, but it's just not being owned, and that doesn't bode well. If we're talking about people not watching baseball anymore, you should probably handle these things better, because this might be the worst thing you could possibly do if you want fans to believe that you're giving them the best product that you can give them.
Yeah, it's called PR. It's existed for a long time now.
Yeah,
it's pretty simple. So yeah, it sucks. It's a sad day for the city. Thank you, dude, for joining us right at the top here. And we'll catch you on an FT show soon. All right.
All right. Sounds good. Take it easy, guys. Have a good show.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Trevor.
Go River Cats.
Yeah, Trevor May reporting live
from the River Cats.
Camberwell. From the River Cats, Camberwell.
Yeah, that green screen is on point. Bad look, though. I mean, we can talk about it for a minute here, too. I mean, okay, they're moving an hour away. This is the pathway, Kratz, for them to get to Vegas. But it's not just an Oakland problem. It's not eventually going to be a Sacramento problem. It's not even just a Vegas problem, unless this dude somehow sells. It's a baseball problem. It's real. It's a baseball problem. I just want to make sure that people understand we're not Oakland A's territory. We're foul territory. We're covering all ground in baseball. It's, we cover all 30 teams, but I think this affects the sport. And that's why it's become, such a story that we cover every day, or not every day, but almost every day, because it's a walking PR nightmare and it's embarrassing.
Where's the midway point in this whole thing? Where's the midway point? I think one extreme is John Fisher, you have to sell. Well, I mean, if you have a successful business that is going to become more successful, and somebody comes to me and is like, hey, you have to sell your business because I don't like the way you're running it, that's probably too extreme. And
is he successful, though? But is he successful? He's not successful.
And he says he's poor. I don't have any money. This place can't fund us.
He's successful?
At the end of selling his business, we're just talking about a business entity. At the end of selling his business, is he going to make money?
Of course he is, and this is the baseball problem, right? So if you're an owner, you want to be profiting every year off everything that you're doing. And then even when you buy real estate, take the hit, then siphon it off to a separate company, and then the team is, equal or maybe losing a little bit of money, but everything you own around the ballpark's making money, but you still say the team is losing money and you're going to sell the team for 10x eventually. Like, uncle, enough. Like, what do you need? And then publicly you're saying, we don't have enough money. Can't support the team with a payroll even close to what would be needed to compete. We need to take money from other owners. This isn't even just a problem for everybody but the billionaires. The big market teams are complaining. They just don't do it publicly. You know, the 10, 15 teams that make money, that try harder than others, are pissed because they're sharing money to a guy that is crooked as hell.
But what I'm saying is, like, where's the midpoint? Where is the midpoint? Because where John Fisher's happy because he gets to keep his business, Major League Baseball grows because he is actually putting a competitive product out on the field. He's actually employing enough people in his minor leagues, in his analytical department, to run a organization that is going to win. Like, every single corner he is cutting. So that's the one side. Where's the other side? Like, where are we at in the middle where everybody can be happy? And to me, the 29 other owners or the representatives of the other owners are the ones that need to step up and say something, because it's constantly coming out of their pocket. And I don't even know that Oakland's revenue sharing is anywhere close to where it's going to be when they move to Vegas, because the revenue sharing is going to be through the roof when they move to Vegas, because it's now a small market. Yeah.
They're not allowed to talk publicly, though. That's the part that changes, right? When there's a problem within one side, you know, there's two stakeholders, right, in baseball, right? You have the owners and the players, if we're simplifying things. If there's a problem with players, there's a ton of them. Stories get out because there's a ton of them, right? If there's a problem with owners, it's 30 dudes sitting in a board meeting. They talk it out. And then once they're done, they come out of the room and say, we're all happy. We agree 30-0 on everything. It's just how they've set things up. It's all for labor negotiations. But the point is, I know there are owners that have brought up a lot of things that are concerning to them about this situation that hurts their brand, but it gets talked about behind the scenes. It never gets publicized. Have you heard one stakeholder talk about this?
Nope.
No. That's all. And it's like some people in the chat going, this could be your team. Could be anyone's team. Just about. Owner doesn't get what he wants. You're allowed to move your team. Isn't that true?
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, apparently. You can do whatever you want. They're not going to stop you.
No, because you're an owner. Like, and yeah, and you're not going to get voted down because they're worried they'll get voted down for something they want.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bad situation. It's bad. Bad for the game.
But at least they're still in the Bay Area.
Right. For now. But only for a few years.
Sacramento's not the Bay Area, Rowdy.
Oh, at least they're in the area for now. Do you think Oakland fans are going to go to games there?
I wouldn't go to those games. I'd be like, dude, they don't go to the games now. That's what I asked Trevor May. Dude, there was 5,100. Well, 4,900 were Red Sox fans.
Yes.
I mean, there were 6,400 at the game yesterday. 5,900 were Red Sox fans. There was no A's fans. I want to see when they play the
Pirates.
I'm trying to think
Mariners?
of Pirates, Mariners, anybody. Royals, Twins, White Sox. When they play the White Sox, let me look at the attendance. See how many fans there are.
You know how we showed that memo the other day? They might be like, you know what? It's not even worth printing the memo today. Let me just go talk to a few of the employees that are here and tell them what to say to the few fans that enter the ballpark.
There might be some layoffs.
Might be what?
Some layoffs.
Oh, well, that is a factor, right? There are probably people within the org that are going to lose their jobs.
I already said that, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought when they said that they were moving to Sacramento, they already said
I think that was Casey Pratt's report, right? Or did they say it? Either way, it's going to happen, right? They're going to use people.
But if you work for the A's and they're moving to Sacramento, they're not going to move you.
No, they're not going to move you.
So people are like ushers and all that going to be like, yeah, we're going to drive that far? No.
And they might just say, we don't want or need you anyway. We'll use the
River Cat ushers.
That might be part of the deal, if anything. You know, hey, we're going to use some of your employees.
I want to know how much
the expenses.
I want to know how much their Sportsnet money is, because you know that's what drove this. What was that? 66 million they were getting from Sportsnet?
70-ish, yeah.
70-ish. I want to know how much they're cutting, because there's no way they're going to be okay with, because Sacramento was outside of that, whatever the region map that I first saw when they were talking about it. That's why I thought they were never going to move from Oakland.
It's, if I had to guess, I'll give you an over-under. 42.5.
Okay, I was going to say 15 million off.
Yeah, I think a little more than that.
NBC Sports California, I mean, why would they pay that?
They're not. That's why they said we're not paying that, and they were like, "Will you take a discount if we go to Sacramento?" That's what happened. We didn't get the full details yet of the deal, but that is what happened. All right, want to talk ball?
Let's chat.
Okay. Also, more on this story on Fair Territory. We just had it before our show. Ken Rosenthal.
This is a big deal because I feel like it's just bad, but whatever.
It's really bad.
Every team now is going to threaten to do this.
They're already doing it. We've seen it, right? Everyone has a one-way flight on their private jet to Nashville.
But Nashville's struggling to get a stadium and all that too. I mean,
are they?
I mean, I think so. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen Dave Stewart come through and be like, "We got the funding."
No, I didn't. I thought that they can, though. No,
you would think they can, but we haven't seen it yet. They just built they're building a new football stadium.
Right.
That place will be electric.
For people watching right now, details on Fair Territory. And we'll take more questions about this if you have them. Drop them in the chat. We're talking it out. And now, let's charge the mound.
Charging the mound.
Shohei Ohtani, still good at baseball. Homered last night. Helpful homer, too. Made it 5-3, bottom 7. 430 feet. It was 105 off the bat. It looked like it was 115 off the bat. First homer since August 23rd of last year because he went down with the elbow sitch. 44 homers last year. Really, the Dodgers, who beat the Giants, can't stop scoring 5+ runs. That's 5+ runs in their first 9 games, each game. But Shohei is on the board for the Japanese media. Actually, it's the biggest relief. Apparently, they were starting to freak out. I mean, if there's people that are counting his BP homers in spring training, then I'm not even kidding. I heard this from some writers out there. They were like, because they would chat with them. They'd be like, what's going on? Like, what's wrong? When do you think he's going to homer? And they're like, he's fine. His at-bats look fine. They were worried.
He's fine.
He's fine. He looks great.
He's fine. Listen, the Dodgers keep winning. Mookie, my MVP, has already won it. Wrapped the award up. Keeps hitting. Ohtani finally hit a homer. I know it was taking forever, but I mean, this guy's kind of been through a little bit since he signed with the Dodgers. He's kind of been through just a small sampling of things, including a sunflower seed shower. But I mean, listen, his best friend got fired. His bank account got robbed, $4.5 million. And he switched teams, switched leagues, new place, new set of expectations. And listen, he got his first one, but Mookie Betts, MVP.
Cut the cord. Bryce Harper.
Good try. One game doesn't make
game.
an MVP.
That was one game.
He's getting.
What do you think of the exchange? So I watched the fan
cut
grab
the cord.
the ball.
I mean, cut the Philly cord. I mean, let's get serious.
You guys are both wrong. Garrett Crochet is the MVP of the American League.
It's
right
a good.
now.
It's good. Wrong league though, Scott. But good try.
I know. I'm just saying he's the MVP.
He's
of
the
the American
MVP
League.
of the
I said
American League.
League.
Why?
Two brilliant. I'm just fucking around White Sox wise. He's a Cy Young contender right now. Shohei Ohtani made an exchange with the fan. Was it a fair exchange in your
What
mind?
did you give him? I don't even know.
2 hats.
2 hats,
Bat.
a baseball, a bat, and no Porsche.
Oh,
Is that good enough?
it's Porsche.
Porsche? I
Yeah, thank you.
don't speak the language.
It's a Porsche. I saw a Cybertruck today, so I win. I got to get in it.
Just a random person Cybertruck?
Yeah, I told him to give me the keys. He was parked in a handicap spot. It was weird. He wasn't handicapped.
It was a rando? Is that Tesla, those cars?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that ball. I'm assuming they were autographed. Autographed ball, 2 autographed. I mean, yeah. I mean, the ball means nothing to the guy that caught it. The ball means nothing to the guy.
That ball's worth 6 figures.
Dude, no way, bro.
Yes, it is.
No way. It's
Yes,
not
it
like
is.
big homer, first homer Dodger. It's not like it was like his 500th homer, his broke Babe Ruth's record. Dude,
6
no way
figures.
that ball's worth 6 figures.
It is.
Who's dumb enough to pay 6 figures for that ball? You?
Who's dumb enough to pay for a lot of things in life? Baseball memorabilia goes for a lot. If this is our Babe Ruth, that is an asset that people are into.
No, not
I'm
6
telling
figures.
you, 6 figures.
Then when he hits his first road home run for the Dodgers.
No, just his first homer as a Dodger.
Disagree.
How much do you think it's worth?
$1,000.
A ball, 2 hats, and a bat. That's what I think it's worth.
Did you ever do?
Because that's what the market gave him.
That's right. No, because I was fortunate enough that all my big homers that I hit, my first one, the ground screw got it. My first hit obviously was not. I never had to make one. My 100th homer was caught by somebody that didn't want anything. I mean, like, who was the guy? 600 was it? Pujols 600th homer or Judges or somebody or Pete Alonso's? Or was like, it's his ball. He deserves it. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know
what
who
you're talking about.
But there was somebody
Judge.
Judges. No, Judges. No. I think it was Pete Alonso's, and they were like, when he broke the rookie record, the guy was like, "Dude, it's his ball. He deserves it." That's cool, right?
That's cool, yeah.
Like, that's cool.
And
you know what? Pete Alonso would still give him something.
Yeah.
Pete Alonso still gave him stuff. And I guarantee the Mets were like, "Hey, dude, here's season tickets next year or something."
Yeah,
cool.
the Mets gave him a lot. The Mets gave him a lot of cool stuff.
I don't know. I've just never been a person that's like, the only time I ever did it was when Mankiewicz had the ball from 04, the last out, and I was like, you sell that bitch right now on eBay. And he didn't. And then all hell broke loose. I literally texted him that night, like, you better sell that ball. And 05, when we were about to win, I was like, please, Bobby Jenks, strike this dude out because I'm going to sell the shit out of this ball. And Paul Konerko got it and gave it to Jerry Reinsdorf and became the captain and got a multi-year deal. And I'm no longer with the White Sox, so it's fair.
Okay, good.
That's called a parlay. Parlaying a ball.
That's called the life goes full circle.
Full circle.
Like, if I would have had that ball and given it to Jerry, who knows? I might be the manager right now.
Be the GM.
I could be the GM. I could be the Bobo.
Wait, so he would punish you? So that'd be his gift.
Why would
to
he
you?
do that to you?
Maybe.
Why would he do that?
Do you think you could manage or GM a team that was 100 losses year after year? And I know you're going to say,
first of all, I wouldn't put up with that. Second of all,
but like, if it was bad, you weren't getting the reresources, the minor league system
quit.
was shot.
I'd be like, this is stupid.
For years.
If you're not helping me out, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, if you're the now the A's GM, right? I don't even know who it is anymore.
David Forst, who works for Billy Beane. Yep.
All right, but I mean, I'm sure Billy Beane's getting paid way too much for
Yes.
whatever he's doing at this point because
He doesn't
they
do
made a movie about him, which was totally false, but whatever. That's a whole different story. By the way, happy birthday, Denny Hawking. 2 days ago, we ended Moneyball. Tweeted it. Thank you. No, I wouldn't, because I'd go to the owner and be like, dude, you're screwing me. Like, you're not giving me the resources and the help. Like, all right, so you take Andrew Friedman, you take whoever's, the Rays people, right?
Neander running the Rays, sure.
But they have the resources to do what they need to do. Even though their payroll is not high, the owner's still like, hey, if you need to make a trade or you need to sign certain people, we'll do it. But if you have an owner that's just like, yeah, we're not giving you anything, and you're losing 100, that's on your record forever. And people like Mark Kotze, I feel terrible for Mark Kotze. He's a great dude. And I'm assuming he's a really good manager. I played with him. He's awesome. But he's stuck in a situation where he can't win. And you're like, all right, well, this is my permanent record that happens. I don't know.
Yeah, but don't they want it so bad? You would quit because you're like, I don't want to put up with this. I think some guys really want to be big league managers or GMs, and they're like, all right, well, I'll do what it takes to get this job. It's the job. It's not the job I want, but it's the job to get me to the job I want.
Yeah, but if you have 100 losses repeatedly, is any other team going to be like, oh, man, Scott Braun lost 100 losses his 5 years as GM. Let's hire him.
Also,
I think it backfires.
Right. I
mean, totally.
Your whole legacy. I mean, but some people, they're in it for money, comfort, whatever. Then they wear it.
But usually if you're on a 100-loss team repeatedly, you're not getting paid that much.
Right. But what's that much? I mean, if you're the GM of the team, you're still making 7 figures. And it just depends. It's relative.
Yeah,
it depends.
it's all relative.
Some people are really good puppets, and they want to be in that place.
I had 2 GMs tell me at separate times this year, being a GM is only good on the 1st and 15th. It's not all it's cracked up to be.
Mm-hmm.
I still think it would be fun as hell to be able to choose a team and get it. I think that would be all. Now, if you were able to build resources and build your minor leagues and do it the way you wanted to. Now, I'm not saying like if you're stuck where you can't do anything, because that would not be fun. But if you go into a place and you're the GM, like let's say David Stern goes into the Mets and Stevie Cohen's like, hey, you can do whatever you want. I have an open checkbook. I'm like, sign this guy up because I will have a great time. And we are going to have the fantasy team of all fantasy teams. And I'll figure it out. I'll make trades. I mean, I'll do everything to try to build the best roster. Now, it doesn't always work. They've tried that. But when it does work, it's going to be glorious.
There's about 10 teams in the league that you'd probably sign up for in a minute, right? I'd sign up for the Mets. I'd sign up for the Dodgers. I'd sign up for the Diamondbacks right now. I'd sign up for the Phillies for sure. Braves. We can go down the line, you know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but there's also a lot of pressure that comes with some of those teams.
Yeah. But wouldn't you rather have that?
You'd rather have expectations because that means you're supposed to be good.
Yep. Agreed.
Expectations are a good thing.
Padres. It's kind of weird situation.
Padres in a weird situation right now because
Yeah.
Peter Seidler passed away, sadly, and he was the one driving the, like, let's spend. He passed away. Now it's kind of in a trust, I think, and now, so it's like a little bit different than where it was.
Yeah, and just
So
different guy in charge.
Different guy in charge. So I don't know that, but still, I mean, you get to live in San Diego. It's not that awful.
No, it's a great gig. I'm saying it's a weird pressure because he's actually had the gig for a while. There hasn't been a ton of success. He does a really good job of scouting prospects. He had a big payroll. They fell flat last year. I don't know. It's interesting.
What if the person that's in charge of the trust, you know, when somebody passes away, like a lawyer becomes in charge of the trust, or like, you know, Peter's sister becomes part of the trust, and now AJ Preller has to go to this like rando person, this rando lawyer, and be like, would it be cool if I get Dylan Cease because he's not going to do that much to our payroll? And the person's like, let me flip a coin. Yes. Okay, go for it. Good. And it's just like, you know, it's like not Billy Madison. Yeah, Billy Madison. It's like he's just inheriting the money, and he's like, we're gonna get Sea-Doos for the fountain. And everyone's like, all right, well, here goes the business down the tubes.
Well, luckily they had a plan in place, so I remember reading about it. I don't know how to say his last name, but the controller now, the guy who is controlling the franchise, Eric Kustenda. That's the name. Anyway, let's get to another ball club that is in a weird spot. Ken Rosenthal wrote the following title to an article yesterday: Why the winless Marlins could be on the path to becoming sellers sooner than expected. The Marlins are playing a little bit after this show today. They are currently defeated. They are 0-7 all home games. They have been outscored 51-24. The Angels just swept them. They have 4 starters on the IL. Alcantara's not coming back this year. Yuri Perez has the elbow issue. Braxton Garrett and Edward Cabrera have shoulder issues.
Tommy John. Yuri Perez, Tommy John now.
They announced that?
They announced it.
Today? Oh, shit.
Yeah. Kind of one of those things, it's like a inevitable, but so you look at it, you look at what Ken said.
Damn.
Who's even, at least the Rays have developed players, and I know Rachel Balkovich is going to, you know, create a player development system, hopefully, that creates players. But who's the most valuable coveted?
Hold on, Eric. What's her track record in developing players?
No, I'm saying because she's new, that is going to be, you know, the hope that she develops players, because they haven't.
Well, they had Kim Ng, who did a pretty damn good job, and they let her walk away.
I'm more stating that that's what she should do. But who's the most coveted piece? If you're saying, Ken's saying in the article that they'll be like the Rays and they'll get rid of people before they become valuable, Who's the most coveted piece? And do not bring up Luis Ariz. He's a almost below 800 OPS player. And I'm saying like somebody that – who?
Luzardo, Okert. Oh, no, what's the other lefty? Garrett Braxton.
Braxton
right?
Garrett.
Braxton Garrett.
Who's hurt right now, but he's coming back.
Yeah, but I mean, they're big pieces. Yuri Perez
great.
And Sandy Alcantara are hurt. So those are their real big pieces.
Did you see what Ken said, though, in the article? Like, it started getting very depressing as you continue to read on. I mean, he said Ariz and Luzardo would carry the most value, but the Marlins also could look to move anyone earning significant dollars. Josh Bell, of course. He's making 16 plus. Avi Garcia, good luck trading him. Perhaps even Alcantara, who's making
Sixto. What about Sixto? Made a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to prove that he's
back.
healthy. He even put in here Jazz, who's earning 2.5 this year, but has 2 years left of art. Like, he basically listed anybody with value.
Tim
on
Anderson,
the team.
if he can show he can play again.
Right, for a rental this year. But the point is, if you're a Marlins fan and you just sat around for 6-7 years of tanking, you got your playoff appearance last year, are they not doing a full tank rebuild again, according to this article and their strategy this offseason?
They were last year, and they still made the playoffs. They were trying to win with the pieces that they had. I know for a fact, because I heard it from somebody within the organization, they told me we only have $9 million to spend this offseason. That was last offseason going into the 2023 season. They were tanking last year already. They just made the playoffs, and it's like, oh.
Well, they spent less than that because they only spent 5 this year, right? Because Tim Anderson was the only big league free agent they signed.
That's it. 1.
And he's on
5.
a 1-year 5, I thought.
Well,
I
9
heard
last year, and he was like 5 this year. What?
This one I can't confirm, but the rumor this year was $4 million is what they had allowed to spend. So I can't substantiate. I know the $9 million was the number that they were given.
They made the playoffs last year, first time since 2003, besides 2020 when it was basically the NCAA tournament and everyone made it. I'm going to read one fan comment from the article in The Athletic from Ken, because I like to scroll through the fan comments, and they're often smart, but this one just kind of hit. Ben said, "What a travesty. Kim Ng put together a frisky playoff team that was a lot of fun. Can't be having that, or what's left of the fan base might expect further investment on the on-field product. So, of course, Sherman, the owner, gives Ng the boot and installs a Rays spreadsheet acolyte who fills the team with a bunch of former Tampa castoffs. The team struggles at the gate, no choice but to trade the last couple dollars on the team for a handful of nickels. Miami deserves better. Baseball deserves better." You're right, because sometimes people are like, why don't they go to games? Miami doesn't care. Disagree. I disagree. You need to wow. It's like when the A's moved to Vegas. You need to wow. This needs to be a show. When Jose Fernandez pitched, people showed up. You need connection to the community. You need trust with the franchise. That has not been built. Miami Heat had plenty of times when people were not showing up to games when I lived there back in the day. And then it's like, here comes Wade and Shaq. And then here comes LeBron. Like, you get big ticket items and you're a good team, they will show up.
But
they don't get that.
When they got Jose Reyes, Burley, who else did they sign that year?
Were they good?
Heath Bell.
But were they good?
Ozzie Guillen,
right?
Ozzie Guillen.
They weren't
Joey
good.
Cora.
Yeah, but the fans didn't come out. They made those signings.
They got to show that you can win, though. You're wrong. You can sign.
Need win. And if they
got to
win,
win. The Dolphins go through this every time. They suck. No one comes. They win. They show up. The Hurricanes, they suck. No one comes ever.
Correct.
They always suck.
How long do you have to win for?
Well, longer than.
It's not just winning. You also
have to put something entertaining on the
correct
product.
Like if the Heat are good and you don't know any of the players, they're like, meh. If it's LeBron, they're in. If it's Jimmy Butler, right? So for the Marlins, if it's Jose Fernandez, they don't keep anybody for more than a few minutes. That's a tough market. You need to bring it down there.
You got to entertain people there.
Yes.
There's too many other things to do. And I hate to say that because I'm a Florida guy, but there are so many other things to do in Miami, whether it's South Beach, everyone looks at South Beach, but you want to go to Brickell, there's restaurants, there's beaches, there's boating,
festivals weekend.
all the time. There's always something happening in Miami. So if you're not entertaining people and making them want to come, it's tough. It's a tough market, but at some point someone's going to unlock it, and when they do, it's going to be a juggernaut. The problem is, who's that going to be?
This group's not doing it.
No, I mean, listen. I mean, they brought in Gabe Kapler. I mean, does he excite people? Like, hey, we have Gabe Kapler.
They're saying, hey, Miami, we're going to be the Rays. For as successful as the Rays are, the Rays plan does not work in Miami. Everything's turnover.
The Rays plan doesn't work. The Rays plan doesn't work anywhere but Tampa Bay.
It barely works there. The attendance isn't good.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But their TV numbers are good.
Their TV numbers are good. It's a successful franchise, but they've got the wrong plan down there. And I think they've had the wrong plan, and now it's going to be worse. I'm very concerned about that situation. So anyway, I know it's only been a week, but when Ken says they might be sellers, he's not just putting that out there.
Dude, they're 0-7. They're out. They're done. The season's over. Pack your shit, boys. Season's over.
For real. You're not even being sarcastic,
Like,
right?
I'm serious. Like, they're not catching the Braves. They're not catching the Phillies in that division. They're not catching the Central team, and they're not catching any of the West teams. So guess what? As bad as it sounds to say, season's over. Like, they should already be looking to 25.
Maybe I can convince you on the schedule, because next up they're on the road. I'm saying they're on the road for St. Louis.
They just lost 4 to the Pirates, 3 to the Angels.
Now they go on the road for St. Louis and the Yankees.
Oh, yeah, that'll get easier.
They come home for the Braves and the Giants.
Oh, simple.
Then they go on the road for the Cubs and the Braves. They're going to be 8-24.
Listen, as a guy who was on a team that started 0-9 one year until we played the Marlins and beat them, season was over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as much as I was like, oh, let's keep going. We fired the manager, Freddie Gonzalez. We hired Brian Snicker, who's still there. But, dude, season was over. 0-9.
0-9. 3 series?
2016, 0-9. Lost to the Nats. Got swept by the Nats. I forget who else it was. But we started out the season 0-9. Mets, maybe. I don't know. It was bad. Then we went to Miami and won. We were 1-9. We're like, all right, we're back. No, we weren't. Just kidding.
No, we weren't.
Mm-mm. All right, here's the other side of the equation. The Milwaukee Brewers off to a roaring start. They finally did fall. They lose 7-3 to the Twins. And the Twins offense woke up. Kirilloff had a big-ass day. I think he was 4 for 4 in that game. Correa had a game. Jeffers hit a 3-run homer after an 0 for 13 start. Remember, what was your quiz yesterday?
Who was going to be the last undefeated? Who is it?
Tigers.
Detroit, baby.
Detroit. Also.
They're losing right now in the 6th.
Yeah. They got rained out, so they got an extra day on it.
Mm-hmm.
But
they got rained out twice.
Which, by the way, I'm mad because I would have won my bet, but instead I took Scott's bet and I lost.
Sorry about it. I know. We'll get
because the Cubs were up 8-2 and
almost lost it.
That was a bad beat.
Thoughts on the Twins and Brewers?
Yeah. Twins are going to win some games. Brewers are going to lose some games.
Mm-hmm.
But the Brewers did have a lead late. And the Twins scored a bunch of runs late in this game.
They had a 5-run inning. I believe it was the 7th.
Yeah, but I mean, Correa had a nice game. A bunch of them had a great game. But, I mean, it's a game. I mean, Twins are going to win some. Brewers are going to lose some. They're both pretty good teams and pretty bad.
Are the Brewers better than we thought, though? I think the Twins, we understand, are going to be competing for the division. The Brewers going to compete for the NL Central?
They
have
an opportunity to. I just don't know there's enough pitching with all the trades they've made. And with Devin Williams being down.
Right. They're kind of turning into the Rays in my mind. On the side that you do like, which is flipping it over and just you keep winning. The farm system got better.
Yeah, but they were winning because they had Burns, Woodruff, Peralta, Devin Williams, Josh Hader. They had Uribe. They had some dudes. They have Yelich who they signed. Willie Adames. William Contreras. Reese Hoskins now.
Right, that's like.
I think they're. Lineup. I think but is it enough to sustain them, especially pitching wise?
Yeah.
Offensively, I think they'll be fine. They'll be able to handle their own. I just think pitching wise. No offense to the guys that are there. You stack their 1 through 5 up against other teams that are going for it, and they don't match up, especially bullpen or 1 through 5.
What about the Central though? That's my only plea here.
No, that's their only saving grace.
Yes, but that's going to be the saving grace for the whole division, most likely.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Kratz is so anxiously
He's so mad because he's like, the Brewers are the best team in the history of the world.
This is what they do. They get knocked down.
And Pat Murphy and Craig Counsell will come back and bring them back to the promised land.
We finally heard Kratz's
We finally got him
feelings.
to stop talking.
Show 302.
Year in and year out, the Brewers
I know
do
they
this.
cover their over. I know we've heard it all.
They cover it, but I think this is where
You took them over.
What you were saying is going to spread out through 162 games. When you have horses like you had, when you have Freddie, you have Burnsy, and you have Big Woo, that helps hold up the crutch of a bullpen. That helps you say, okay, we can get rid of Hader. We still have Devin Williams. He can slot in. Well, he can slot in because you don't need necessarily as much depth in the bullpen. To me, this team, the only way they do well is if somebody steps up besides Freddie to hold the crutch up of a bullpen that's beleaguered. And over time, they won all these games, and yesterday they lost it from the bullpen because this bullpen has been pitching quite a bit the first 6 games of the season, and it got to him. It got to him here at the end, but their minor league system is a pure case of haves and have-nots. They have hit on some of their prospects, and I think the reason they hit on their prospects up in the big leagues is because they allow them to make mistakes, maybe sometimes too long. Maybe they kept Weimer up there too long last year, but they've allowed these guys to learn in the big leagues. And to me, that's a credit to the coaching staff.
Yeah, great. I mean, I understand, but they also lost a guy to a concussion when he passed out in the phone store the other day. I mean, all right, so their starting rotation is Freddie Peralta. That's nothing to be laughing about. That's serious.
No,
So
I
stop
know.
laughing.
Well, no, I can do it because I same thing happened to me.
He knows. I know about this. I know about this.
I actually had to tell the story this morning.
I passed out in the phone store also.
No.
But, I mean, Freddie Peralta, okay, DL Hall has never started, right? Colin Ray, Jacob Junis, and Joe Ross is their starting rotation. So you taking that over Steele, Hendricks, Imanaga, the Cubs starting rotation? I'd stop it after 3.
I'm not taking that over the Reds
What was his
rotation.
name? Ben Brown dealt last night. He was throwing fuel for the Cubs.
You would have known if you watched Hot Sheet on Baseball America, people.
Jared Jones, Mitch Keller. There's definitely more.
Marco Gonzalez. And then what about the Reds? I mean, Frankie Montas done a great job for him.
Hunter Green,
Lodolo, Hunter Green, Abbott.
Aaron Abbott.
I mean, I don't know. Are you taking the Brewers over either one of those? Any of those 3 we've named?
No. But why do the Brewers keep winning year in and year out? Why are they?
Because they had Burns, Woodruff, and Freddie Peralta, and then they had Devin Williams and Josh Hader at the back end.
Listen, I'm going to tell you guys, when I left in 2018, I told these guys, I said, you need to do really well for the rest of time. So that's why they're doing well. So it's really because of me.
I thought he was going to say something real.
Yeah, I thought you were going to actually say something like you told them something cool. Like
I saw something that they were doing.
Yeah. Instead,
I just told them to do good.
I mean, I told the Braves when I was done in 2016 they'd do really well, and since then they've done nothing but win.
Dude, whatever you told them, holy. Yep. All right. Lastly, the Houston Astros received a 2-homer day from Yordan Alvarez. He too is okay.
Whew.
Slow start for him, 3 for 24, and yesterday he was on one. And he had a 404-foot flyout that would have been a home run in 18 parks.
That was a bomb to center.
Drilled. I would have called that a homer if I was at the game doing the play-by-play. I would have been like, Yordan.
Can I just bury the lead on this one? The Blue Jays lineup is Brutes Magoots.
Yes.
I
was about to get to that.
They can pitch, but they cannot hit a lick.
They got 1 hit.
Dude, they got no hit, and then Hader hung 1 slider, and then they got 1 hit. So they could have got no hit, shutout, 1 slider away from being shutout, and shutout in 3 games.
19-2 outscored, 35-9 out hit in that 3-game.
And they won a game, which is even crazier.
Next time you watch the Blue Jays play, tell me if you think I'm wrong. The way I saw 2 of the 3 games, and I didn't see the no-hitter, so I saw the other 2. They do not make an adjustment based on what is going on. It's almost like nobody's talking, like, hey, guys, like somebody stay up the middle on a pitch. Hey, guys, this guy's throwing us more sinkers than he normally does. make this adjustment. Like they did not make an adjustment from the first pitch to the end of the game, it looked like. And maybe I'm completely wrong, but it did not look like they were doing anything to adjust.
Whose fault is that? Because I'll bring up one other example.
Players.
I heard post-game comments after they got no hit by Ronel Blanco. And Isaiah Kiner-Falefa said that they were caught by surprise because Blanco had been mostly a two-pitch guy, and he utilized the changeup just as much as the fastball breaker that he usually has.
Yeah, but fine. One time through? Second time through, you're like, dude, this dude's throwing changeups.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to look for a changeup. At some point, Vlad Guerrero struck out 3 times and hit a weak ground ball his 4th time. All on changeups.
Are you not in the dugout after the first time through? Like, hey, guys, he's not that good, or he's on, like, he is on right now.
Yeah, but someone sit on a changeup. I'd be in the dugout, be like, motherfuckers, someone hit a changeup.
Like, it was a nasty changeup, but still.
But still, at some point, you think, like, man, I'm going to look for a changeup.
That's what I'm saying. It looks like they're not making an adjustment as a team. People are going to blame the hitting coach. Stop. Like, once the game starts, we're getting after it. And we're getting after it as these 9 guys. We're going to grind this pitcher down until he's out of the game. We might not score any runs, but we're going to grind him down, and we're going to hit balls hard at different parts of the ballpark based on what he's throwing us. And it just looked like they were like, oh, no way that just happened. I'll never forget, beginning of the season in 2016, I question it when I'm saying I never forget, but Chris Bassett was pitching for Oakland, and I was on the Astros. And this dude was throwing, I think it was Bassett. Now my memory's leaving me. Whoever it was, the scouting report said he was 90 to 94. The whole first 3 innings, he was 94 to 97 with less sink than he had before. And so we were like, guys were like, I wasn't in the game, but guys were like, the scoreboard is right. His velocity is 3 miles an hour harder than what it was. And the guy, or what we thought it was from the scouting report, now you got to make the adjustment. Guys had to make the adjustment. And that's what happens in the big leagues. You might face Ronel, and he's going to throw you more changeups. Talk to each other. What's he throwing you? What was that pitch? I think it was a changeup, but I don't really care. It doesn't matter. It just seemed like they didn't make the adjustment.
The same old Blue Jays? Every year we hype them up to where their offense is going to be so good. Me too. I picked them to make the playoffs. But did I? No, I didn't.
I did. I hyped up their offense.
You're a homer. Their pitching is really good. But every year we're like, man, Vlad's going to have a great year. Biggio, Bichette, George Springer, right? Varsho, Alejandro Kirk, Matt Chapman last year. Here we go. They have this great offense, and then they go, and they don't score any runs. They can pitch.
Yeah.
They can really pitch.
Is there a core problem? Because this year it was, here comes Justin Turner. They needed more adults in the room. He's going to be that guy that's like, yo, let's talk adjustments right now. What the heck's going on? Let's all go over this. Like they call them like cage guys. Yes. You want to try and
100%.
Talk like I do?
And I thought he was
JD
one
Martinez,
of the good
cage guy, right? So JT though, it's a week. It's a week of baseball.
It's a week, but this is excuse me. It's different when it's a week, but it's also been a thing. How many runs they scored in the playoffs last year?
1?
Mm-hmm.
Did they score 1? I thought it was 0.
No, I think they scored. I thought they scored 1.
Either way, not enough.
Whatever it wasn't enough to win a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And offense, if you ask a Blue Jays fan, if you ask Jays fans, they're going to say we haven't hit for a couple of years now. With what you look at on paper and say, man. So then it goes to, and I hate saying this, but then it goes to, you mentioned it's not the hitting coach's fault. I know it's always the player's fault. Okay, let me say this. But, and as a player that's been, when the hitting coach has been fired, when a manager's been fired, everything, I've been in all of it. It always comes back to the players. Okay? But sometimes team officials look at it and say, is it the manager? Is it the hitting coach? Is it this guy? Is it the bench coach? Is it, yeah. And I'm not calling for any of that, but that's how it goes. They're like, okay, well, we're not hitting. we've had the same hitting coach for 3 years now. It's not working. Let's try somebody new. And they call up the minor league guy. That sucks because it's not his fault. It ultimately always falls on the players.
Can't fire the players. That's the reality.
Yes, you can.
Well, you can.
Yes, you can.
You can.
You ain't firing Bo Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero.
No, you trade them.
Yeah. But are they the problem or is it the rest? Like, do they not have a supporting cast? Because, I mean.
But you look at, okay, so they go Springer, Bichette, Vlad. That's 3 pretty good at the top, right? Then you throw Kiermaier had a great year for him. Alejandro Kirk's been an all-star.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think Biggio's off to a better start than they thought. Varsho, since he's been traded, hasn't been very good. So that's 1. But, I mean.
His values in his defense so far, I mean, he's been – I've been a huge Dalton Varsho fan. But to me, that team relies on 2 superstars. Bo Bichette had a good year last year. Vlad did not. I thought this was going to be a huge year. Vlad doesn't have an extension yet. He's going to want it. This is when he grows up and becomes a superstar with Bo at the same time. I know. MVP year, Shohei took it from him. He could have been MVP that year. But this is – both of those guys in one lineup, to me, is why I picked them for the playoffs. Even outside of their pitching staff. I don't think their pitching staff is going to have quite the year they did last year because they were awesome. But to me, both of those guys need to be hot in this lineup. And this series, it did not translate.
You're saying you need Vlad to be a 150 OPS plus or more guy, and you want Bo to be 135 or more. Because that might be the difference. Because I'm looking at last year's team, right? I'm just go off, say, OPS plus for now. Kirk was a little below average. They said, oh, he wasn't as good as the year before. Okay, but catcher, it's not like he was the most hyped prospect ever. He's a good player. He's a league average hitter, right? Some contact, not a ton of pop. He had 8 homers. Okay. Vladdy underperformed. Yeah, he was 117. Witt was 94. Bo was 123. Chapman 108. Varsho 85. Kiermaier 104. Springer 102. Obviously, they want more there. Belt 136. Schneider was great, obviously, in a short stint, 175. And even Danny Jansen had a good year when he was playing at 115. So you're looking, you're like, there weren't a lot of bad hitters. So a lot of average.
They work together. But then, okay, so let's go to this year. I'm looking at their stats right now, right?
Okay.
Justin Turner's hitting 318.
Okay.
Vlad Guerrero 208. Varsho 143. Springer 120. Kirk 095. Bichette 150. 3 for 20. No homers. I mean, it's like Springer, he's hitting 120. 3 for 25. 2 homers. 2 RBIs. No walk, or, it's like, okay, let's see, who else? Kiermaier's hitting, he's 1 for 18, 056.
It's just Turner, really. Turner's
the only one hitting.
Yeah.
I mean, Guerrero 208. That's not Vlad Guerrero.
Watch their at-bats. Just watch them.
I'm just saying, 5 for 24, 1 homer, 1 RBI through, how many games they played? 7 games? 6 games, 7 games, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 6 or 7.
6 or 7.
I mean,
7.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, they're not performing the way they should perform, that we expect them to perform, because they're better players in this. I know it's only been a week, but let them get up in Toronto, get into that Rogers Center. The roof will be closed. They'll be hitting dingers.
Your point is valid, though, because we're doing a baseball show every day. We are going to overreact and underreact sometimes. But what AJ's saying is, didn't just start. This has been a problem for a minute. You know what they talk about in Houston? They're like, we just had a shitty homestand. Even though we didn't play that bad, they're like, the only thing that concerns us is had this weird home winning percentage, right? It was a problem all of last year. So they're like, that's what we're overreacting about. Not because it's a week of games, but because it's a trend being carried over for now. I think that's fair. All right, that's what he said?
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said. You might have to get Brian Baumgartner to help us out with that.
We can ask him.
Yeah, I feel like that is tailor-made for him to get into the show every day, right? Kevin in there would be a classic. So this is our time to talk about the Yankees. They are victorious again yesterday over the Diamondbacks, a 6-1 road trip to start the year. And Torey Lovullo, manager of the Diamondbacks, regrets Judge getting a knock in extras.
I'm kicking myself for that right now. Yes, of course. You don't want to give up the second run, whether it's 2 or 3 runs. It doesn't matter in extra innings. So, yeah, I felt like we were gonna force him into some weak contact. We just made a mistake in the middle of the zone. But I could have taken everything out of the entire equation and just put him on. And yeah, I'm kicking myself.
Who's a manager? I'm not. I'll never be a manager. You might be, Kratz.
I love that he's taking the ownership in this, like that it's his fault. But I also love that he gave his pitchers and catcher the opportunity to get a hitter out that's not hitting 1,000. Like, hitters don't hit 1,000. There is a good chance you are going to have to get Aaron Judge out. You can't be afraid of the best hitter, and especially a guy that strikes out a lot. So you, as a manager, need to give your pitchers and catcher the leeway to be able to make a smart decision and not leave a fastball middle to any big league hitter. He doesn't always need to walk a guy. Like, is Aaron Judge clutch? Yeah, I'm not saying he's not clutch or whatever stat you want to throw out there. But to me, this is totally on the player, and I love the fact that Lovullo came out and was like, no, it was my fault.
There's another thing that was his fault. And Aaron Boone outmanaged the fuck out of Torey Lovullo when he walked him and made a relief pitcher hit and had never had a big league at bat with a game on the line. Like, what are we doing? We don't have a player left over? We can't run a starter up there? We can't try something?
You got squeezed too, though. Did you see strike 3? It was outside of the zone.
Where's Zach Greinke when you need him to come up there and try and sneak a knock for you?
How does that happen?
I don't know, but how does that happen in today's game? We can't figure somebody out to come up there and give us an at-bat? I mean, and Aaron Boone's like, here's the Judge homer. Great, cool. But later in the game, like, it was first and second, 2 outs. And Aaron Boone's like, put him on. And even the Yankees announced, like, what is he doing? Oh, wait, there's nobody to hit. What happened? And
Jock Peterson, they used up their last guy. To me, I thought it was a good move because it wasn't going to come back around. They needed to get that out, and I mean to get that at bat in that situation. They used it, and they knew it could come up if they batted all the way around. And sure enough, it finds you. Those decisions find you. Mm-hmm. I think he managed it totally great, and I think Booney definitely managed it really well. But then after Verdugo, I thought the game was over when Verdugo got his 2-run homer, I think. Yeah. I thought
then
the
Yankees
game was
defense
over.
The defense just fell apart on him.
The game got so ugly. It was such a great game, and then it got ugly central. And then the way it ended with McGuff hitting, like, dang it. Turd Ferguson, by the way. Ferguson, I have gotten him to ground into a ground ball double play back to me, threw it to second, threw him out at first. He's my only ground ball double play that I started in the big leagues when he was with the Dodgers. Just saying.
Caleb Ferguson.
But still, I don't know. I mean, I know Perdomo got hurt.
That's bad for them.
But I don't know. It's crazy to me the fact that in today's game, I know the benches are shorter because you have to have a certain amount of pitchers. But gosh, dog, like, I mean, and then Aaron Boone was like, he had that little smile on his face. He's like, I got you, Torey. Oh, let's see McGuff the crime dog hit.
They punched out, forget who it was before Gabriel Moreno punched out. Was it Barossa? Was it the rookie? No, Barossa got the hit. So whoever hit after him punched him out. And then it was like, wait a minute, we don't even need to face Gabriel Moreno. Caleb Ferguson only throws fastballs, so he's not going to bounce one. So it's okay if we have bases loaded. Because it would have put the winning run on. It put the winning run on second. So there's your thought
Again,
process.
there was a
but
pitcher hitting who's never had a big league at bat and probably never had a minor league at bat. Let's be honest, because they got rid of the minor league pitchers hitting a long time ago. So
you think
he probably hasn't hit since like high school.
You think any starters were sitting there going, like Zach Gallen was sitting there going, dang it, I got to get my cleats on, hustling to the clubhouse? Or you think they were ambushed by it? You think the Diamondbacks were ambushed by it? Because Zach Gallen's, he hit, Merrill Kelly hit.
Yeah, why not call one of them? Why?
That's what I said. Where's the start? Well, Merrill Kelly started the game, so he's out.
Yeah.
Gallen started the night
They're
before.
worried about Gallen. Yeah, right. He started the night before.
But I mean, he could have hit. I don't know. The whole thing is it was amazing that in today's day and age that we would see this, because the DH normally you can finagle it to get a guy to hit. I mean, with the DH, I mean, it's not like they have Jack Caglione throwing and then DHing, and we're like, oh, we need to pinch run for him, right? Or a Tani starting pitcher, he got hurt, we'd lose the DH.
Benches are small,
but still,
yeah. Well, one other point from this game, I just want to point out, because New York media and fan base can be tough. Carlos Rodon, 2 starts, 2.79 ERA. It's not perfect. It doesn't look like, oh, he's an ace. But he gave him 5 1/3, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks. The bar is low right now. Last year he was hurt, and when he was on the mound, it was a mess. I would like to just highlight that through the first 2 starts, he has been a contributor, a helpful contributor.
And also
a 3.
That's all he needs to be.
Yep.
Until Cole comes back. And also, did you see how many Yankee fans were in the stands at that place yesterday? Oh my gosh!
Spring break.
It was all Yankee fans.
Break.
I mean, it was like 40,000, 35,000 Yankee fans. There was a picture on Twitter. It was like a ball someone hit down the right field line, and the whole stands were up, and they were all Yankee people, Yankee jerseys, Yankee hats, and they were like, and this is against the team that went to the World Series last year. It was crazy.
Spring break.
They have a following. Nobody's going to deny that the Yankees don't have a following.
I know, but also in the Northeast, aren't some schools off right now? It's early April.
Yeah. I mean, it's spring break right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. Northeast, you got a week off. You got a few days off. You see this is on the schedule. Florida and Arizona are usually like the spots this time of year. And so there are a number of families from that area that are like, we're going to Arizona. We'll have a good time. Mom and dad can catch a Yanks game or two.
You know what I liked?
I
liked Alex Verdugo. I think it was Michael Kay. I'm not sure who it was. Said, Alex Verdugo styling with this home run. Swagalicious. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, are the Yankees, like, I feel like maybe, like, they need a little bit of that. They need a little bit of edge. Because everyone else is so buttoned up and so prim and proper. And in that home run, Marcus Stroman retweeted a picture of himself coming out of the dugout, not wearing Yankees attire, wearing something that, shows his flash, like a short sleeve sweatshirt with some design on the front. I couldn't tell what it was, a hoodie. Like, they're allowing these guys to play, and they're playing and having success early in the year. Maybe overreaction, but success early in the year. I don't think it's an overreaction, but this success is contagious, and they can be who they are, and that means you get the most out of your players.
Well, still can't have facial hair. Verdugo can only have one chain, but I love your point. They're a little less oatmeal, vanilla ice cream, Cheerios. Last year, no celebrating, no home run celly, all that stuff. Yeah, Alex Verdugo makes you know that he's there. Marcus Stroman makes you know that he's there, right? Whether it's what they're wearing or what they're saying or what their actions are, right? Those are guys that are a little less
buttoned up.
Yeah. Aren't some dudes just boring? And so, I don't know. Does that shit matter for you guys when you're playing? If everybody is just like so well-spoken, they never say anything that stands out in the media. They're not really into fashion. They're not really into like eccentric actions.
The Yankees got a bunch of dudes now that are.
That's what I'm saying would that matter? Like if your
It doesn't
clubhouse
really
was
matter.
all
It's cool.
boring.
It's cool though when you win and you're like you can swag out.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
Stroman when Stroman's going good, we saw with the Cubs the first half last year, and then the second half we didn't hear much from him.
No, he was hurt, but yeah,
You can't force it. You can't force it. And if somebody doesn't feel comfortable being that way, you can't force it. But when guys feel comfortable being more boisterous and out there, I think it brings more out of everybody, and it becomes like your mantra, and it kind of makes other teams hate you. Most people don't need.
But you have
any
to back
extra.
it up.
That's the thing. And then when you back it up, you're like, yeah, it's us against the world. Every good team is us against the world. I've rarely seen any good teams that are like, well, it'd be neat if we win. No, you got to have an edge. And I like that edge. And that 2-run dinger showed a little bit of edge for this team.
Yeah, you got to back it up. Listen, I mean, I played with plenty of guys that could talk it, but they didn't walk it, and then they lost it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, as much as I love Nick Swisher, the year he was with the White Sox, he talked it, he ain't walk it, and the talk went right out the fucking window down the street, and he sat there and didn't know what to do. And then he went to the Yankees the next year, and Trent Rosecrans followed him.
Look at that.
He covered him, and all of a sudden he became a Nick Swisher fan. I don't know.
That was a good way to get the guest in there. What's up? The Athletic C. Trent Rosecrans covering the Cincinnati Reds and other topics, joining us right now. C. Trent, good to see you. How is your first week of the real season going?
That's good. Things are good. There's baseball. That is always a positive. It means I get paid, which is even more important.
I love when you get paid, and ideally, I like when you spend, 6 hours at the ballpark, not 6 hours on a rain delay. So how has your Reds-Phillies series been treating you?
I did not go to Philadelphia, so it's been great.
There you go. Hey, you picked the right series.
Nobody wants to go to Philadelphia, okay, see, Trent? Except for Kratz. Look at him. Look how mad he is. Okay, I understand. I get it. I totally get it. It's too close to New Jersey. I love Philly. It's too close to New Jersey.
Oh, I'm just going to step out here. You guys take your thing. You can do it later. I'll just hang while Kratz takes care of you.
well, wait. Come back inside and give us the state of the Reds after the first week of the season. We haven't spoken to you in a minute, and a lot has happened. I mean, for me, I was pretty high on the Reds last year. I was high on them this offseason, and it pained me. But at the last second, I switched the Cubs over the Reds for my divisional predictions, and it really hurts because I am a big fan of the young talent there. But with Noelvi out for half the year, and I don't know if he's a fraud now, and with Matt McLean's big injury, among other topics, Friedel, etc. Where are we at with the Reds?
They're 4-2, which is good, including a series win in Philadelphia, which is something this franchise has had struggles with. So I think they're in a pretty good spot. What you have to say is how much you've liked what you've seen from Frankie Montas. I mean, he was a guy that there was a lot of questions about, and his first two starts have been really good. He's given the Reds what they've wanted, which is a guy that they can count on to go out, throw strikes, not worry about striking everybody out, and just performing. And hey, that was a heck of a pitcher's duel last night. And when you take a rubber game against Scott Wheeler, or Zach Wheeler, Zach Wheeler, you're feeling pretty good, I would think. Especially with both those guys sitting around all day and both those pitchers performed. And when you're equal to Wheeler, that's a good day.
Do you have any feeling if Frankie is surprising himself, or is this how he expected to pitch, and does he want to rack up those strikeouts, or is this something that DJ, Derek Johnson, the pitching coach, and him have formulated this plan that say, hey, we're going to ease into this and then start picking up more strikeouts? Or is he like, no, this is what I'm going to sustain the rest of the season?
I think this is who he wants to be and who he believes he is, which are two important things, right? And they're not always the same. but I think this is what he believes he can be, and what honestly he needs to be to stay on the mound. And it's worked. And I think we're hopefully maybe there's a little shift away from all strikeouts all the time in the game. I think missing bats is always going to be important, but hopefully we're seeing a little bit of something where guys are taking those early outs, getting those 3-pitch at bats. This is a team that's really intent on, and DJ stressing, getting to 1-2, 0-2, getting ahead in counts, staying ahead in counts. And that is how, honestly, you win over 162 and then hopefully in the postseason.
What's going on with Ellie? Defensively, I mean, he doesn't like the cold very much, does he? He looked like he looked like he was freezing out there.
I mean, everybody did. Did you see Bryce Harper and like a full mask? Everybody was those were rough conditions, and Ellie has had a rough start defensively, and I think you're gonna see some of that. Young players, 22-year-olds, that happens. Talk about sending him to the minors is ridiculous. There's nothing he would pick up in the minor leagues so far. Again, he is on it. I think it's an 11-game hitting streak, reaching back to last year. Now, part of that is he has 6 hits in 6 games this year, so no multi-hit games. But if he can continue to do this, work through this, Elly De La Cruz is talented a player as there is in the game, and that will continue to shine. And it's just going to take some time. You're going to take those kind of bumps with 22-year-olds, and this is a young team, and he is the youngest of the young. And so I think you have to give him some grace there. I know this is the big leagues, but he is going to give you more than he takes away.
I just want to make sure we got that one part of the answer for everyone. The part about the minor leagues, because yes, I'm a fan of the player.
He ain't going to minor leagues.
Kratz.
No, it's a popular topic around here after that bad day, and I don't see it. I don't see it at all. The minor leagues are too easy for Elly De La Cruz.
See, Trent, you know what they tell him? Knock in more than you let in, kid.
Yeah. And that's the key. And that guy's going to knock in, and not just knock in more. He's going to create more because he gets on the bases. That's a runner on third. He has a bunt single this year. It's something he's trying to add. I don't know how much I would use it, but heck, I would hate to be at third base thinking, oh, he's going to bunt and then play in. Because if you're on the grass on Elly De La Cruz, that's a dangerous place to be.
You don't think he has anything to work on? You don't think the reason that they got Jamar Candelario, when they signed Jamar Candelario, I'm not even talking about his start. I'm talking about his finish to the year last year. That's why, to me, that's why they went and got Jamar Candelario.
100%. I don't disagree with you. And I'm not saying he doesn't have anything to prove. I'm just saying that he's not going to get better in the minor leagues. He's going to get better in the big leagues. And that's why he's there with Jamar Candelario. A switch hitting veteran hitter like Jamar, a guy from the Dominican. I think you're seeing growth, and with growth, there's growing pains.
Is this team good enough to withstand a guy who's striking out 50% of the time and leaving him in the big leagues? That was actually going to be one of my questions. Is there a leash that they have on Elly when Noelvi comes back? If he's still striking out 50, 30, 40% of the time.
When he comes back in July?
When he comes back after 80 games?
Yeah.
Like, if we have 80 games of this and you're still wondering where he is.
C-Trent, stop. Maybe. Just stop. C-Trent, just stop. Just stop. Just ignore him. He's an Elly hater. Scott's an Elly lover. I'm in the middle. I think he's got a chance to be a great player. Scott thinks he's a Hall of Famer. Kratz thinks he should be in Double-A at the trying to keep a job. Okay, just stop, C-Trent. Elly's not going to the minor leagues.
Who would they have a shortstop beyond him?
I mean, unless Davey Concepcion comes out of somewhere, he's not going anywhere.
Barry Larkin,
Noelvi Marte,
Barry Larkin,
Matt McClain, even Edwin Arroyo, all out and all unavailable. This was a team that a couple months ago, everybody's saying they have too many shortstops, and now they have no shortstops. You can never have too many shortstops, and you can never have too many pitchers. those are two things I believe more than anything.
The Padres have all the shortstops.
Yeah. They have too many shortstops and no outfielders.
No such thing.
Working. Yeah. Okay, Kratz, did you want to go?
Sorry, I got completely out of my realm. I don't even know.
Did you forget your questions?
Those were going to be my questions because you weren't on. I wasn't on camera when you said he will not go to the minor leagues. I was like, that's not in my mind. That's not why they went and got Candelario when they did. But sure. Anyway, all that to be said.
But just rationally, who are you going to play at shortstop then?
No, that's fair. That's totally fair.
Not Candelario.
That's fair.
Ellie's not going anywhere.
No, he's not.
Scott already has him in the next 12 All-Star games, so he definitely is not. Now, Scott didn't say whether they were AAA, AA, single A, low A All-Star games, but he's definitely in the next 12 All-Star games.
INTV All-Star game.
Independent League All-Star games? I don't know.
How about this? My favorite pitcher for the Reds is not out there right now. What is the timetable for Lodolo?
They expect him back the 10th. Just, he's eligible the 9th. It's set up to where he's the 10th. I'll tell you what, as good as Nick Lodolo has looked in his career, I think he's looked his best this spring when I saw him. And he is he's a really good pitcher. And I think you're going to see that.
Good. Listen, I picked the Reds to win the division, so let's go Reds. Let's go Reds.
I have one more follow-up for C. Trent on Marte. Is there a chance that he's not that good? Because, he got caught with the old school good. No, you think he's – I think he's good. We saw what the steroid era did for certain players. So, even – okay, I'll use another example.
We saw what happened with certain other players too.
Robinson
Cano?
He's
a good baseball player.
Robinson Cano?
I understand that, but he there's a chance.
I think he's going to be a very good baseball player.
Okay.
And that's the bottom line. Oh, hey, I looked
it up. Stone Cold said so.
But
I looked it up for you.
Did he ever put out a statement or anything?
No.
He's just like, oops, busted. It was helping.
Oops.
I'm huge.
I fell and a needle went
I will say from my reporting, he did not file an appeal, which was odd. There are some strange things going on there, and I haven't figured it all out. I've asked some people, and it's listen, I believe in him as a player. I think he's going to be able to hit. And Kratz, I got one. I looked this up while we were talking because I wanted to do it. Do you know which shortstop led the league in errors in 1988?
Barry Larkin. I don't know.
Barry Larkin. 24-year-old Barry Larkin.
My gripe in the offseason, and we had some good conversations about this, I would never say Elly De La Cruz doesn't have the sheer talent. But sheer talent plays when it's actually on display. And then he steals home after stealing third and all those cool plays. But when a team that sees you day in and day out goes and gets somebody and has somebody that technically would be playing before all the steroid stuff, technically would be playing at shortstop over him, where was his spot on the big league team before injuries? Before
I feel Trent, what?
When was somebody going to play ahead of him?
Yeah,
wasn't Noelvi Marte?
Wasn't Noelvi Marte third base? He was going to play third base. Jeimer Candelario was going to play some third, first, DH. That means that you would have had Jonathan India playing some first base, left field, DH. It was not. Jeimer Candelario wasn't moving Elly De La Cruz. He was going to move Jonathan India.
He wasn't moving Marte back to short, his position.
No. Marte was third.
Okay. So then I read that wrong. I thought they were bringing Candelario in to play third and to play first, moving Marte over to shortstop.
No, I think Marte is a guy that is they can see him as a shortstop, but they've kind of penciled him in as your third baseman for a while.
And
I
McLean?
think that is the belief. McLean's second base.
Was only going to be second base.
He was going to play there most days, except for the days when Ellie had off. He would play shortstop, maybe into Marte. And that was the plan. It was Jonathan India who was going to be the guy kind of displaced. And the thing is like, he wasn't even looking at second base for much of spring until that week where everything happened. And then it's like, oh, well, you'll play second base where you've played all your career in the big leagues. And, a guy who was rookie of the year not that long ago and is off to a really nice start.
Well, I appreciate you telling me and showing me that I'm wrong. So this is I'm back on the Scotty Braun. AJ hates Ellie. I love Ellie.
AJ likes Ellie. You hate Ellie. I love Ellie.
I am in the middle on Ellie.
He's a hotly. See, Trent, I don't know if you knew what you were getting into today, and I don't even think I did.
Oh.
But he is a hotly debated player on this show.
A 22-year-old, we think, is a finished product?
Nope.
Remember Marcus Semien?
I do.
On the infield?
White Sox
a 22-year-old who not only is 22, but also missed a year of development in the minor leagues with 2020.
Yep.
Yeah.
Listen, he's going to be just fine, especially once Kratz gets
I think he's going to be just fine. The question is where is that ceiling? Because that floor is irregular, and if he can field at a league average, which I believe he can, he's an all-star. He's a perennial all-star with league average fielding.
See, Trent, do you know that Kratz went to Reds camp in January to work with them, and then he went over there and said they should send Ellie down? He has not been invited back.
Was it Jamer who did it? Because Jamer was out there.
Because you ain't been back, that's why. And you ain't going to Cincinnati, so I know you ain't been invited back.
Oh, we are though soon.
I said you are. I didn't say he was.
That's true. That's true.
We'll talk about that. You're always welcome in Cincinnati.
I appreciate that.
Just like it's always sunny in Philadelphia, except when it rains.
Except for in 6-hour rain delays.
Okay. Here, let's put the list of cities where Erica's not welcome and where AJ's not welcome.
Like together?
Who's leading that story?
Let's start. See, Trent, go.
Where are you welcome, AJ?
I mean, Cincinnati.
Chicago. They love him in
welcome,
Chicago.
Well, Chicago has to split up. Are you welcome in Wrigley?
I'm welcome. They welcome you with open arms in Wrigley.
Minnesota, they like you.
Minnesota.
True.
I mean, really, I can't think of a place they don't like me.
Anaheim.
No, they love me in Anaheim.
What?
They welcome me with booze every time.
I think Anaheim hates me.
If that is your definition, then you are welcome all across every Major League Baseball park.
That's right. I'm waiting for his.
See, Trent, I got a question for you about last night's rain delay. I know you weren't there, but did you or can you confirm that the reason they had to stay, even though they had an off day, was because there's a wedding at the stadium tomorrow?
I have heard that. I did not get that information all by myself, but the reports that I've heard, that seems to be accurate, which is, hey, man, they paid. I guess that's the thing, is they don't want to give up that deposit.
Woof.
I hope the weather doesn't suck for the wedding, because there ain't no retractable roof at this.
Isn't it today? The wedding's today, right?
There are places inside, Scott, in a Major League Baseball park.
I know, but that's not what you're doing a wedding in the bank for. See, Trent, imagine? You're like, all right, let's do
maybe
this
you're just
on
doing
the
it
field.
for Frank and the ice cream.
I love Frankie Two Scoops.
You know it.
Frankie Two Scoops.
Hey, I'm welcome there. See, Trent. Next time I go to Philadelphia, I'm going to make sure when the Reds come back, you're not welcome. I'm going to tell Frankie, no ice cream for C. Trent.
Frankie wouldn't do that to me, my man.
He would never. He would never. He would never.
Like, I could believe a lot of things. That one I'm not believing.
Well, C. Trent, you're a gem. Thanks for putting up with us today. Follow C. Trent at C. Trent on Twitter. We'll post some of these clips, too, to check out. Thank you, sir. We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good, guys.
Thank you. That was fun. C. Trent Rosecrans covers the Cincinnati Reds for The Athletic. Check out his articles on The Athletic as well. I want to swing back to That's What He Said for one moment, because we did have one more topic. And it involves the only team we talk about. I'm going to let that breathe for 10 seconds.
The Reds? 54% of the time. is the only team.
Yes. Well, there was one fan one
54%
time. 54%
of the time it works every
He
time.
said, "You fucks only
Yeah.
talk about the Mariners."
Yeah.
That
That's
was
what
the
he called
direct
us.
quote.
He called you that? He would never call me
All
that.
of us.
It was plural.
Well, he was
So
talking about you and Kratz.
No.
He's talking about the
definitely
whole
no.
FT fam. Go on the YouTube channel, on the feed, and look at that banner that we have up there now. It's like 10, 12 people on there. When he said the F word with a plural, he meant the whole roster.
He meant everybody in the club.
What was this guy's name? What was this fella's name?
I can go find him.
AJ's burner.
I'll go find him and tag everyone in it.
What was this dude's name?
We will find him. But in the meantime, Jerry DiPoto did speak about his offense to start the year. Jerry said he doesn't expect every opposing pitcher to be able to spin the ball like they've seen from some dudes on the mound so far. He said the, quote, "The unique part of the start to our season is we opened up against roughly 6 consecutive pitchers who all have exceptional ability to spin the ball. And in some of these cases, exceptional ability to spin it and to locate it. And that's the thing that Bieber does as good as anybody. In years past, when our offense has struggled, it looks like an offense that is struggling. This year, our offense, we're swinging at the right pitches. We're grinding through at-bats. You know this is the big leagues, and the other guys are good too. I think our at-bat quality has been really good." End quote.
Okay.
And the other, I guess, quote headline was, he's saying, "I'll count this week as something of an anomaly in the way we have been approached." Were they really why? Because they had more. He hated the swing and miss last year.
But don't they? They're 3-4.
Yeah.
Didn't every pitcher spin it in the big leagues right now, Kratz? Like I know guys throw 100, but everyone runs to their slider and their other stuff before they. So I don't understand this. I mean, they had they're 3-4. They played the Red Sox and the Guardians. I mean, the Red Sox weren't supposed to be known for their pitching. Now, the Guardians are a little different. Bieber's off to 2-0 start dealing. They got to Tristan McKenzie, right? But then Logan Allen yesterday shoved. He's pretty good. So, I mean, it's the Mariners, though. It's what we've talked about with them. Like, we keep asking this, do they have enough offense to match with their pitching? And you could say, oh, well, they really threw good curveballs. They really threw good sliders. Well, every team does that now. And guess what, Jerry DiPoto? You just gave every team the scouting report on your team. Spin to win, baby.
Mm-hmm. Do they have enough pop?
They have some pop. Enough? I don't know. I mean, what? Anytime you
pop wins.
It does win, but like, do you take less strikeouts from Jorge Polanco than what Eugenio Suarez gave you? In the sense that there's a diminished pop there, but there's also a diminished strikeout. So is that their goal? Is that what they were looking to do? Essentially, that's what they were looking to do.
Yeah, they also should have replaced Suarez with a dude because there were dudes to get. Chapman for sure. Suarez is a good defender. They're
Suarez
missing his
is a
defense.
good player. Plus, he fits in the clubhouse everywhere you're.
Good
Guess
vibes.
who they go? Guess who they play tomorrow?
Who?
Milwaukee. Guess who's pitching?
Freddie P.
Yeah, full menu Freddie.
Do you know Freddie used to be in that org? So this was I was listening.
I did not know that.
I was listening some.
I had no idea.
What was he traded?
Did you not know that?
He was El Trado?
He was in one of the trades.
Who was he traded for?
I will find it.
Colton Wong?
This is a part of the problem.
No.
And this is where I defend the DiPoto regime.
Mm-hmm.
When you get this tight budget from owner John Stanton, what you have to do is trade to get better. And sometimes those trades really burn you, where they could pick up some dudes instead of always having to get super creative and have him be Trader Jerry. He loves a good trade, but I think he's also being forced into trades sometimes. It could have happened again just now with Jorge Polanco. It's like, yeah, we need that extra bat. There's dudes to sign, or we can trade Gabriel Gonzalez and a good reliever and a few other guys, right?
So if he was
that happens. You're going to be more susceptible to trading away top-end talent when that happens.
So you don't think this was Jerry just being told you can't have an upgrade in your payroll? Like, hey, I'm not going to run it back. I want to see if I can trade to have the exact same. What is it? what is it, like 2 million? 2 million difference in payroll? Like he has
it's
almost
essentially the same.
It's essentially the same, and they're one game out of the playoffs last year. Like,
Adam Lind, by the way.
Adam Lind.
Lind from the Mariners.
Sneaky good
Or
player.
to the Mariners in that Brewers deal. And they got 3 prospects, including Freddie P.
Freddie P. Chico Lind.
Yeah. Sorry, Kratz. Just wanted to
No,
throw that in there.
I mean, yes, should ownership have put more money into it? Absolutely. But if ownership said we're not putting any more money into payroll, Jerry making these moves, were they upgrading the team, or was it Jerry just being like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to trade somebody?
Option A. Think about it, Kratz. You're being told we need to be better. We missed the playoffs last year. This is our time to strike. I know. This is our time to strike as a World Series team. We do not have a World Series offense. Go improve that. But you cannot do anything differently with the budget. How do you get better that way?
If power is the way to win, then you don't trade Eugenio Suarez. He believes that Eugenio Suarez and getting rid of Robbie Ray and blah, 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 all that other ancillary stuff gets you better, but you got rid of power. So to me, like, this is his move, and I agree, except how are you going to find even part of that power that you're losing with Eugenio?
You're not. Josh Rojas isn't that guy. Polanco's not that guy.
Matt Chapman, Jorge Soler, JD Martinez, Juan Soto,
It's not on the table. So why not just keep him then? Because your payroll is going to be exactly the same.
I love this debate. You're picking on one player too much in my mind. The answer was we need to open up the checkbook a little bit more.
No.
And get another player. Impact back.
No.
And they got to know. So you're saying they should have run it back with because last year's team didn't have enough offense, so he's trying to run it back differently. He's trying to balance their strikeouts. And also, Suarez had a down year. He's going to be better this year. He already is off to a much better start. He had a down year. It's going to be better.
He's going to be awesome.
I don't want to pin it on one player. I just think that they do tons of shuffling, and then you look at the product and you're like, it's kind of different, but it's kind of the same.
Mm-hmm. Kind of different. They look different.
Yeah.
Could Christian Walker and Eugenio Suarez easily have 35 plus each?
Yes, and that's why the Diamondbacks are a scary team.
Mm-hmm.
Scary team, and they've got a lot going for them.
They just need Corbin Carroll to get going. He's kind of got off to a rough start.
Yep.
They get Alec Thomas back.
Good farm system too.
They have a good farm system.
Dude,
their pitching has been good though. Their pitching has been steadily, especially when they get Rodriguez and Monty back.
And Seawald.
They're a good team.
And Jordan Lawler. They have prospects too. They're in a good spot.
Jordan Lawler might have to step up and play now. That Perdomo's down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
They've
Luis Gonzalez is coming back soon.
Stop.
No.
Brett Butler's going to bunt a couple times.
Tony Womack.
Is going to. Yeah, Tony Womack. Craig Counsell's going to take a pay cut.
Young Kim going to come in and sling it.
By the way, he's out for 2 months. But still, there's a lot going for this team. It's a good team. Ready? Let's go over some games. Let's go over some picks. First off, BetMGM free game of the day. So when they've got one, we'll break it down for a minute. It's Marlins Cardinals today, streaming on the BetMGM app, and live streaming is available to any and all BetMGM customers who are logged in and have funded accounts. It's that simple. So if you're dealing with MLB blackout hell, you can at least check out Marlins Cardinals in the app. For free. You know who's pitching in that game?
Lancey crotch grab.
Yep. And don't think he's unaware of the Marlins' defeated record. Lance definitely knows that they're defeated and does not want to be the guy that hands them their first dub. That is a thing, right? Is that not going on in his head in a good way? Where his motivation for today is, I am not going to be that guy.
You know who else's motivation? Weathers is pitching and he pooped in his cup.
What?
Isn't that the guy you said pooped in the cup?
Not everybody named Weathers pooped.
That's his kid. So don't you learn from your dad? Isn't that his kid pitching?
If someone's on the outside of that joke,
isn't that his kid? Kratz?
Oh, that I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I don't know if it's his
pretty
kid
sure that's his David Weathers' kid.
It is.
So you teach your kids your same tricks.
The old poop in the cup trick. Some people are watching probably like, does he mean shit the bed? No.
Kratz once got his cup pooped in.
No, not me.
No.
Look it up. You just have to look it up.
Jason,
it might take you some time to find it, but look it up on our TikTok. Our TikTok page is fire. All right, World Series line movement. Anything stand out to you? Any big changes? The Diamondbacks
where'd the
came
Marlins
down.
go to?
Yeah.
Not on the board.
Same.
Not on the board.
The Diamondbacks.
Just who
we just
how
talked.
the hell were they plus 4,000 after Monty, Kratz?
We talked about that. Like that was awesome. Like that was an awesome number. Plus 4,000. Like I'm not going to give you a full 100. I'll give you 50. I'll give you 50 on that to make myself $2,000. Like that is nice.
But wait, let me ask you this: why did the Astros off to a bad start, obviously, but why did the Cubs and the Reds go up? The Reds went up 1,000. They're 4-2. They just went to the Phillies' house and said,
"That's why
injuries, steroids."
Oh, why'd they go the other way? You're saying
the other way.
I do not know.
Oh, okay.
I do not know.
I mean, the Braves lost to the White Sox. They went down.
One game.
They look good, though. That offense looks good.
Not against
They almost
Crochet.
came back.
Oof, you're right. Crochet, Cy Young.
Mm-hmm. I picked
You
him.
missed that boat on that one, AJ. You could have totally taken that line down.
I picked
Where
him.
were you on that
I'm
one?
gonna win this high. They're going to cut him off after 100
I
innings.
know. Calm down.
I'm not telling you. I'm telling everyone else.
Oh.
They don't know all of our jokes, and we're trying to inform them.
They don't know that Kratz likes poop in his cup.
All right. We had a terrible day yesterday. We all lost.
I lost because I got rained out, and then I took Scott's crappy bet.
We got hooked.
Poopy bet.
It was a good bet for 2.5 hours. But
It was a great bet when it was 8-2.
yeah.
And it was 20 degrees and wind blowing in, and then all of a sudden it was 8-8. And then it was 9-8, and they had a chance to score the run, and they still pooped themselves.
5 runs. 5 runs in the 8th inning.
Mm-hmm. Hector Neris came in and just lit that bitch on fire.
He was just like, he wanted to watch it burn.
So just to get us in a more serious mode,
Mm-hmm.
we would now like to throw it to new FT team member Jonathan Papelbon, who will be sending in picks multiple times per week. And yes, he will join us soon on the show to go over all the madness in the league. But here's Pap's pick today.
What's up, my people of Foul Territory? It's Pap back at you again. Sorry I missed y'all yesterday. I was supposed to put in a pick. There was some controversy on it, but lo and behold, it did hit. So it would have been 500 to 1,000. But Mark, our producer, I'm not sure if he got that. Mark, you owe me a steak dinner. So we'll just call that a wash on a steak dinner. Anyway, I'm coming back at you today with Pap's pick. Last year maybe, or some of you people in the past may have thought, with this gambling on baseball, I'm a sucker with this, Well, guess what, folks, and my people of Foul Territory? No longer are you going to be a sucker, because you with Pat now, and you're not going to be no sucker. You're going to be that motherfucker now. So, you stick with me. We're going to keep winning money. We up $1,500 already. Here's today's pick for you. You ready? I'm going all the way in on the Royals. Sorry, AJ, they're going to whoop up on the White Sox today. I truly do believe that. So I am going the Royals money line, and I'm going the under 9 today. So I had to tease that up a little bit. That puts me at a $350 bet win, about $980. Y'all going to have to check me, but it's close to 1,000. And y'all stay tuned, because we're going to move y'all up in the world. You just keep with me. I know a lot of you may not understand this right now, but just stick with me. A lot of the women bettors, you're going to go for black bottom shoes or red bottom shoes, right? So, a lot of you guys that maybe in the past didn't, you couldn't get the women. Now you're going to start getting women. Okay, you just start listening to me, and we're going to roll all season long. Peace out.
Oh my gosh.
He said red bottoms.
Wait, Pap dating advice.
The better question is like, oh, the Royals are going to beat the White Sox. Oh, Pap, that hurts me so bad.
Really hit deep.
Yeah, Pap, you really got me on that one. Oh,
that's great.
anyways.
All right, who wants to follow that?
I mean, I guess I'll go. My boring over pick in the second game of the doubleheader. The Tigers Mets. I'm going over, and it's panning out. Actually, I haven't.
Hey, it's
checked
3-3.
No, second game. Game
Oh,
2.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that the first game goes low, and the second game, 2 guys that got called up for the game, Buto and Manning. Both of them are like, oh, I had to take the drive from Syracuse all the way out to Citi Field. Now I'm going to get to Syracuse and Toledo. Now I get to pitch against some big league batters who are fresh. I feel like it's going to be a higher scoring game. And it's the over at 7.5. So I love this number for me. Betting 50 for a -110.
Dude, 50?
55.
Sorry, 55.
50?
55.
What are we?
55 to
Back in the
150.
minor leagues, 55?
It's on that Fisher budget.
I mean,
Right on.
Pat's rolling with the 300 for win 1,000. Kratz is like, I'll bet 5 cents so I can win 5.6 cents. What are we doing here?
Times are tough.
By the way, Travis Hilliard had the greatest line. Did he mean the Chicago Royals or the Kansas City Royals to win?
Oh, good
Travis.
one.
That's a great point. I guess I'll go next. I'm going big because I'm not Kratz. I'm like Pap. I'm riding with the MFers. Are you the sucker? I'm going to be the MFer, whatever he said. I'm
It
going
didn't hit.
Which shoes?
Tanner Bybee over 6.5 Ks because the Twins strike out a ton, and he likes that high fastball, shoo, and they don't hit that. And Pablo Lopez, who I picked to win the strikeout title in the American League, over 5.5 Ks. So they want Bybee needs 7, Lopez needs 6, and that gets me to plus 425.
Wow.
Golly.
How much you throwing down?
A hundo, bro. That
Yeah.
gets me back in the positivos.
Wow. Okay. I like it.
So let's go. Punch out a lot, boys. I don't care if you score 0 runs. Just punch out a lot. And it's going to be freezing. It's 40 degrees. Wind's blowing in. Like it.
They just released the lineup. Julian, Kirilloff, Buxton,
Strikeout.
Correa,
Strikeout.
Carlos Santana,
Strikeout.
Matt Wallner,
Strikeout.
Willie Castro,
Strikeout.
Christian
We're at 7.
Vasquez.
Strikeout. That's 7.
I'm touching that game, and I'm going over to St. Louis too. So I've got the Twins to win the home opener. Pablo Lopez, big game pitcher. He showed it in the playoffs last year. I got a dub for the Twins. The offense finally found it a little bit yesterday with that 5-run inning. I like what the lineup looks like against Bybee today. Bybee was first time around, his first start. So I'll get the win there. And then to get to plus 170, I'll take the Cardinals against the defeated Marlins. Lance Lynn is not going to let that happen. So plus 170, I'll do my usual 100 to win 170. And Jalen Rose is going to help us out today for that first bet offer, up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you use the bonus code FOUL when you download the app or hit up betmgm.com. Sign up and deposit at least $10 into your BetMGM account. Place your first wager, receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if the bet loses. And if that happens, your bonus bets will be available once your initial wager is settled. Gambling problem or concern? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm parlaying all our picks together, and I'll tell you what the odds are of all our picks hitting.
I like it. Slap. Don't leave. I'm putting this in the chat. Dodgers territory coming up right after this. You do not have to touch your screen. It goes right to the next show. You have something, or you want to save it?
I did have something.
Do you want to show it?
I don't know what we're showing. Sure. Which one are we showing? I had a couple things. I have a lot of things every day.
You have a
Got a lot
thing.
going on.
I have a thing.
I don't know what. Let's show what we're showing, and I'll go with it.
Okay. Put
Just
anything,
throw something up on the
anything
screen. I'll
up
make
and
it
we'll
work.
react to it. I think we have 3 things.
Anything.
Dealer's
Go
choice.
for it.
Oh,
There's
Dodgers
one.
territory. Yes.
That's good.
We've
We've
already got that.
It. Yes, we're good
Yep,
with that.
that's right after us.
Alana and Clint. They had Will Smith on the other day.
Yep.
Tough fact to follow.
They don't have Glass now or Shohei on today. I'm not
I
watching.
think one player guessed a week, and then one breakdown of Ohtani and your boy Mookie Betts for MVP. Mondays and Thursdays, 3 o'clock Eastern. And please subscribe or follow the audio version, the pod.
And
Rating,
also
review, the
Foul
whole thing.
Territory.
Yeah, for FT too, just to support us. We're giving free content every day. It's the job. So that's one. Next up.
Oh, there we go. Ooh, that's one of them.
The mayor of Orlando.
You see it. Everybody sees it. Last night, I went to an event. Sports Business Journal, who's done an article on us, did a thing where they ranked the top sports business cities for hosting events. As Roman Reigns and the boys, Bloodline say, we the ones! Because Orlando is number one over Vegas, over Los Angeles, over New York, over Chicago. So they had the mayor there. They had the Magic. They had everyone there. The guy, Abe, who's in charge of Sports Business Journal, got to go to that event last night. It was really cool to celebrate, Orlando and soon the home of the Chiefs and the Royals.
What was number 2? Just curious.
Vegas.
It was Vegas.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Vegas is.
Gosh, I was looking.
Good at
Look at that
hosting.
jacket. Gosh, I was looking good.
Bringing it.
Gosh, I
Next
was
up.
looking good.
John Fisher spoke while this show has gone on. I appreciate you all for not flipping the channel over to John Fisher. He doesn't know how to work YouTube. The owner of the Oakland A's at the new ballpark that they'll be playing in next year. Not new, but in Sacramento. He said, quote, it's the most intimate park in Major League Baseball. And also later said that he can't wait to watch the MLB's top stars like Aaron Judge hit home runs here. I don't know if he said anything about his own team.
I mean,
How many players?
He wants Aaron Judge to hit homers against his own team?
Come on.
I mean, wait,
No
what?
way. There's no way he said that.
Did he really say that? Because when you guys send us
We
stuff
gotta
during the show,
confirm
I'm talking
this.
about the producers. I don't get to fact check it. Was that real?
I'm assuming.
Did he say he can't wait for Judge to bash homers against his own team?
He said it.
He said it.
He said it.
Gosh.
Can I get a
It
reaction
feels
from
so
all
bad.
fans? If the owner of your team punched you in the mouth and said, we're leaving, and didn't touch the ballpark for 20 years, tanked the team over the last 5, and then moved the team and said, can't wait for the other players to come here and hit homers, what would your honest reaction be? Like, take yourself into your own team, right? You're a Yankee fan. You're a Cardinal fan. You're a Dodger fan. This happens, and then your owner says, can't wait for Judge or Harper, or whoever, to be in this little ballpark and hit homers against our club.
It made my hands sweat when you said that. That's why I said, is this actually real? There's no, that might be the most out of touch thing. Like, I can see, hey, you'll see superstars like Mike Trout and Aaron Judge and Zach Geloff and Ross Stripling. Like, you can mention some of your players, but don't say, can't wait to watch him hit a home run here. This can't be real. We got trolled. I feel like we got trolled.
People are confirming it.
Mm-hmm.
That hurts.
Love it. Love it.
I don't love it. Now this.
Look
I
at
love.
this. Now this is funny. All right, first of all, I'm better than Sammy Sosa and better than Jim Thome. But according to this, Jay Kuda, one day we'll get on. According to historical box scores, there are 5 guys who have played in over 20 games with a game time temp in the 30s or colder.
Ever?
Ever.
Okay.
Stats in those games. Well, what's funny is 3 of them are White Sox. Canerico, myself, and Jim Thome. And then you have Sammy and Miguel Cabrera. I hit, what was it, 183, 221. So I had like a 526 OPS, but I did hit 2 homers.
My career OPS.
But look, Canerico had like 1,000 OPS. Like, Canerico should have played in the cold all the time because he was unbelievable.
So he's a
Jim
captain.
Thome, no good. Sammy Sosa, no good.
No,
Cabrera,
no good.
Mm-mm.
Baseball not very good to Sammy in the cold.
No,
Not very good to
know-
most.
It's
like.
just
I can't
funny
believe
that-
you say that.
It's just so funny that in the history of baseball, there's 3 guys. 3 of them are White Sox guys, right? And I just happened to be one of them. And I was like, I didn't remember how I was talking about Ellie, so I was saying Ellie doesn't like the cold. Well, guess who else doesn't like the cold? Me.
Florida.
Me.
Yeah.
Congrats,
Florida
Alex,
boys.
Then we got Dodgers territory.
USA Baseball 2010, the pre-Mundial down in Puerto Rico. Cool looking hat, brutal fit. It's that low profile hat of like the spring training hats those years. But America.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. The shape is off.
Plus 39.83 is the FT parlay. All our picks together.
There you go. This is Dude of the Week, Oakland fans. They do Dude of the Week on Fair Territory. It also includes Alana Rizzo, who is hosting Dodgers territory. Don't touch your screen. Support their show, too. Even if you're watching a game right now. Just listen to the shenanigans on the Foul Territory Network. We'll see everyone on Friday.